The day has arrived. We have chocolate.
Made it to chocolate. I see you've got your love.
Yes, that's why I did it. The day is here. We've reached it. We're finally doing the chocolate episode.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Hurry up, get through this part. I want to cook.
And I see you have your love sweater on, even in honor of this show.
I saved it.
So chocolate is made from the seeds of the cacao tree, and interesting enough, the scientific name for the cacao tree is Theobroma cacao, and in Greek, Theobroma means food of the gods.
Oh yes, I concur.
So now the actual word chocolate is derived from the Aztec language, and it means bitter water. And cacao trees grow naturally. They're native to equatorial Central and South America, and they've really been cultivated for thousands of years.
So I want to know how exactly it's made.
So the cacao seeds come in a big pod, and you take the seeds out, and you ferment them, and then you dry them, and then you roast them, and then you crack them open, and what you're left with is cocoa nibs. And that's what these are. And so these cocoa nibs have a combination of cocoa butter and cocoa solids. And you can grind this into a big cocoa mass, and then process that into chocolate. Now the other option is you can take this and further process it and separate out the cocoa butter and the cocoa solids. And if you just pulverize the cocoa solids, you've got cocoa powder.
That's how you do that. Okay, so let's talk about the different types.
So there's kind of two and a half, let's just say, main types of chocolate.
Okay.
We have dark chocolate. So dark chocolate has the most intense chocolate flavor. It's also got the most amount of cocoa solids, ranges from about 50 to 90%. And it's just a combination of the cocoa solids, the cocoa butter, and then with a little bit of sugar added. And this is really the healthiest. Then we have milk chocolate, which is cocoa solids, cocoa butter, sugar, and then milk or milk powder. It's by far the most popular.
Yeah.
It has a creamier texture, sweeter taste. We all grew up eating chocolate bars.
Remember it well.
But it only has a cocoa content between about 10 and 50%. Now, there is white chocolate. Now, white chocolate, as you know, is kind of a pale yellow ivory color. And the reason is it doesn't have any cocoa solids, just cocoa butter. So it's made with cocoa butter, sugar, and milk. It doesn't have any of the cocoa solids, so there's really no health benefits. And many chocolate purists don't consider that to even be chocolate.
Yeah, I've heard that. So I know that there is a laundry list, which I'm so excited about, of health benefits with chocolate.
There are. So most of the health benefits are associated with dark chocolate, with chocolate that has a cocoa solid percentage of 70% or greater. The more the better. Mm-hmm. Highly antioxidant, has what are called flavonoids, which help fight infections, and they're anti-inflammatory. It's been shown to help lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, so reduce your risk for heart disease, improve blood flow to your heart and brain. It's been shown to potentially lower the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease, improve cognition. It's actually been shown to increase mood. It raises serotonin levels in our brain, which is one of the compounds that makes us feel happy. So it really is kind of nature's antidepressant. It has been shown to increase insulin sensitivity and also improve our skin health. The flavonoids protect against sunburn. It improves blood flow to the skin to help us with hydration. And it's also a very rich source of minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron.
Well, I'm glad to know there's no health risks.
Well, there's a few. So in general, you have to be a little bit careful with chocolate because it does have a lot of fat.
Yeah.
And so a little bit goes a long way. And then part of that's just calories, right? So, a gram of fat has 9 calories versus protein or carbohydrate, which is only 4 calories. So you do want to kind of eat this in moderation. And particularly, you have to be careful with the milk chocolate. Milk chocolate has more sugar and more milk typically, so it has milk, which the dark chocolate doesn't. It can increase your risk for getting cavities. It also, for people that are lactose intolerant, which is about 80% of the world population, it can sometimes cause GI distress. And because of the lower cocoa content, it's much less healthy. And again, as I mentioned earlier, white chocolate really has no health benefits because there's no cocoa in it.
Yeah, But I did grow up, my dad and I used to love white chocolate,
yep,
white
yep.
chocolate, and then milk chocolate.
Yep.
And then I had to learn how to love this stuff, the dark chocolate.
It's good though.
Which I do now.
So how do you use, like when you bake with it or when you cook with it, or how do you use chocolate in the kitchen?
Well, so let's talk about, exactly how these different types work in the culinary world. So first you're going to have a bittersweet chocolate, and just as it sounds, it's very, very bitter. It's a type of dark chocolate used in baking pretty often, and it has at least 70% cocoa. So that's really where that bitterness is going to come from, no sugar. It's a lot less bitter than, it's more bitter than semi-sweet, which is kind of the stair step down. And you're going to see, like in your grocery store, you're going to see the bittersweet, semi-sweet, chocolate chips. So that's usually what we grew up with, putting in chocolate chip cookies. It's going to be a little bit more sweet, and again, it's used in a lot of baking. Usually you don't put your hand in a bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips, though I might have it from time to time, Then you have the cocoa powders, and I say cocoa powders because there's usually two different types. So first you're going to have just a regular straight cocoa powder, and that is actually going to retain the acidity from the bean. And that is going to react with baking soda. So like if you're going to use that in, like muffins or things like
helps
that.
It rise,
yes, exactly.
The carbon dioxide makes, that's amazing.
That's right, yeah. So like if you wanted to make, let's just say chocolate breakfast muffins, because who doesn't like chocolate in the morning? It'll poof up a little bit, it'll rise. And then there's also Dutch processed baking
cocoa powder.
Cocoa powder, sorry. And that's going to not have any kind of leavening agent in it. It's not going to react with baking powder. So you're going to use a Dutch process, like, you can use it in smoothies or hot chocolate, things like that. So, and it's again, you can use that in baked goods, but it's not going to do much, right?
Right. So what are you making for us today?
Okay, so I have a dark chocolate mousse that is going to incorporate 3 different types of cocoa.
Wow, I can't wait to try that.
Yeah, and all dark chocolate.
All right, let's get going.
Yeah, let's get cooking. Okay, here's the setup. I've got a double boiler going, and I'm going to crack this bar of chocolate. Hopefully I won't taste it in the meantime. Oh yeah, it's good. We're safe. And then I'm going to melt it in there, add the chocolate into our food processor, a few other ingredients, whip it up, and then we will have some really great mousse. Ready?
Right, let's do it.
Okay.
It's already starting to melt there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So this should only take, 7-8 minutes. But as you can see, this is melting down very quickly. Always make sure that you keep it going. I've turned our heat off so that our chocolate doesn't get too hot. And you can see that it has melted very nicely. The amount of willpower I am using is incredible to not put my finger in there. Okay, so I'll put that up there. Now, in our food processor, I'm going to add, this is 12 ounces of silken tofu. This is soft tofu. Silken is not a brand, it's more of a type of tofu, and it's going to be very silky. Now, that's really the base of this. Now, I'm going to add in a liquid sweetener. This is maple syrup. You can use date paste, agave, whatever you feel comfortable using. It's totally up to you. Then I'm also going to add in some vanilla paste. Oh no, I can't open it. I'm going to give this to Big Strong Jim.
All right, let's see what we can do here.
Might have to run it under some water.
Big Strong Jim.
Oh, Big Strong Jim. Okay, that's Big Strong Jim.
That's why you keep me around here.
Yeah,
right?
it is maybe why I keep you around. Okay, and it's coming out real slow. It's nice and thick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, now the recipe is down below in the show notes if you need that. Okay, now we are going to be using some of our cocoa powder. So this is cocoa number 1, chocolate number 1. And this is chocolate or cocoa number 2. We're going to use that whole bar, that dark chocolate bar that you saw earlier. That is 73% dark chocolate. So it's, you know, it's kind of a, it's somewhat bitter, right? Well, it actually is bittersweet. So that's why I've added the maple syrup. And that is totally up to you, however much you want to use. And this will become very thick because in the refrigerator, if it makes it that far, which it should, it'll firm up very nicely. Now I'm going to add in just a pinch of salt because oddly enough, it does bring out the sweetness. It does balance it. Just like that was like a really small pinch. I know I did it twice, but I promise you it was really small. Okay, now we're going to blend this up. And like you always have to do with a food processor, scrape down the sides. Do feel free to give that a taste test if you like. Okay, now with this mousse, now it's warm, right? Because we just took that chocolate off of the burner. What I'm going to do now is put this into the refrigerator just so it can chill down a little bit, and then we will serve it up.
The time has come.
I know, I know. We're ready, we're ready.
Let's go.
Okay, we have our really, really thick mousse, and this is, I mean, this has just been in the fridge for a half hour. It should have gone for an hour,
longer,
but
yeah.
all right.
You couldn't wait, I
No,
understand.
yeah, okay. Now, I promised 3 types of cocoa, and we have the powder in there, and we have the bar in there, and now we are going to garnish with some strawberries and
Some cocoa nibs.
cocoa nibs.
You could really do it. You could do blueberries, you could do raspberries, you could do pomegranate.
Yeah, for like dinner parties. Thank you. More. For dinner parties, I will do nibs and or pistachios.
Oh, that sounds good. Roasted pistachios.
And pomegranate.
Oh, yeah.
And mint.
Maybe mint. Oh,
Mint.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
but
well,
really the star of the show is
the chocolate.
the chocolate.
Let's go. Cheers.
Get it, get it.
Those nibs, that crunchiness it gives.
I love my job.
Yeah. I love your job too.
All right, we don't even have an out for this. We're just going to enjoy it, so please make it. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this episode, we would love for you to join our community by becoming a member.
And that includes monthly interactive cooking classes, access to our full library of past classes, which is the video and all of the recipes, and a monthly support call.
And once a quarter, I join for an Ask the Doc session. So become a member today.